And we're off. Good morning. I'm kind of jumping into this one blind for the race review and incident review. Uh, Start off, congratulations, Jeff. Killer race. Well done, AJ. Killer race. Myself. Killer race. Broke my coming in fourth tradition in this one. I know we got a kind of a mixed bag in this one because there was some good racing as we're getting more comfortable, and then there's some closer good racing as we're learning each other's stuff, and there's also some unfortunate occurrences which we're about to see here as the pace car goes off. Beginning with an admin fail on my part because I punched in the wrong code before taking the grid, so it didn't actually disable the chat. Then I tried to go to the apron, driving with the inside of my elbows while trying to type it in, and then getting back in. You guys were nice enough to leave a little gap for me there, so I screwed the whole opening to the pace lap there. And then we had internet troubles with Kevin, and Kevin has expressed his deepest apologies, especially after being able to see the replay, because he just didn't know how bad it was. Because once he reloaded the session, he doesn't have access to the replay in there when the internet cuts out and you lose the session you're in. So let's go ahead and we'll get started with the review as that goes. I'm gonna throw myself right here as me doing this. I mean, it's not racing per se, but it's inexcusable because it just throws all the rhythm off on the pace, right, and ready to go at the green flag. So it's more responsibility on my part, but there's still no excuse for that, and that disruption is worthy of a strike in my book. So I'm striking myself for this one. And then Kevin, there goes the internet right there, and he's back, but he's actually not. He can't see anybody at this point. Doesn't know what's going on, and so all that trouble happens there, and I'm sure he's going to be okay with accepting a strike on this one. Be it internet, call it technical, whatnot, it's still disruptive and a strike. And then, all right, now we'll get to the pause, and I'll start going through and find out where we can start next. There we go. All right, I broke the incident search function while I was zipping through the end of them there on that little quick scan and making my notes. So we may get some more there come the end of this, but I'll start back off with going through all these ones that I do have noted to take a closer look at. And there we just had a quick. There's no question on those. Strike for me, admin fail, and a strike to Kevin with his deepest apologies for his internet there, and my apologies as well for my admin fail. A little combination here of a cutback failure. I don't want to call it a cutback failure, but well, let's see. First thing to note is we've got cars who are. Kevin's just got his internet back, so he's a couple laps down, and he's not really in a battle here. But we have a defensive line that's taken, and then clearly he holds the inside line instead of shooting out for the outside line. So he's expecting Kevin to be on his outside, and Kevin's probably thinking, well, there's no need for me to fight this guy because he's 2 laps ahead of me. There's lot of questions and whatnot. But so I'm calling this a racing incident, as the damage appears to be self-inflicted to the front end of Kevin's car, and there's no significant loss of race pace here to green. So just a racing incident, but it looks like we have a cutback by Kevin. Cutback being take the outside line and then cut to go outside to inside when you expect the car in front of you to go towards the outside racing line, maximizing their exit speed, which didn't take place. So a little learning experience for everybody there. Significant loss of pace, so we will have a strike to red here. And I do want to take a note here. People may think, no, he's not on the brakes. He didn't try to avoid this. But the nature of this corner is, once the front has gripped too much and the rear started to slide around, more brakes at that point will actually encourage the rear to go even further around, thus putting you completely sideways into the wall and now a target for everybody who's close behind. And so the natural work through this corner is brake pedal, brake throttle, brake throttle, brake throttle when you're riding that limit. So this off the brakes is trying to catch it so that he can get back control of the car and thus avoid an accident both in front and behind. And then he's back on the brakes when he realizes it's too much. And then so it's unfortunate, but there will be a strike here on red and white. Right here before contact is where we have another strike here on red and white, because that's what I call not holding the line. We have a look down the inside, which is not a dive or an overtake, but blue and black kind of left the hole open while he's looking and then broke to make sure to leave a hole. But then red and white does not hold their line. They're completely off trajectory. That line is not held. We don't have a turn in on black and blue. He's still on his line. So that loss of line control there is a strike for failure to leave safe racing space on your outside. My heart just went out to Gilberto here. Interruption at home, real life getting in the way, hardware failure. I don't know. I just felt so bad. We've got two different lines being taken here, is what I'm seeing here at quick glance. I'm going to point out right here, red, white racing stripes has come off their line. They're taking the inside kind of normal line that comes in hard off of in through turn one and holds onto this yellow line all the way around, and they go off. So they're offline right here into the green, right as green is taking the conservative outside line for a better run through the little S's at the end of turn one, which gets you a higher pace in through that starting of the infield. And so right at their turn in, we have the offline red right at green's turn in. So we have unfortunate, but because of this essentially loss of their own racing line through there, that washout into green, I'll go ahead and strike this one for the red and white racing stripes. Not because there's doesn't appear to be any significant loss of pace on green. He's slowed and then he's get back into it, but the damage appears. I don't know if the wheels are okay or not, but I'm anticipating severe enough vehicle damage on that one for that strike. Let's go backwards. Let's get some Benny Hill music going on here if we could. Just going to go back a couple of laps because I really want to take a closer look at this one for my sake and everybody's. There we go. 2.5 laps back. I was actually thinking it was more laps than this. This is the one I did a little vid on, what I call it, testing my objectivity as a good way, and would I title it "Pissing Off the League Organizer"? First, I got to go back. Green car here. I've enjoyed some good practice with him. Good guy, like him. And I'm aware now. I remember we were having a conversation about he's got VR and he's got UI problems with it. Like the relative box is down on the floorboards of the car, and I'm guessing from this little episode that his blue flag is non-existent too, or off screen. So he's got VR, which is apparently really awesome for people because it helps out with awareness. But when you don't have UI in game, then it's internet racing. If you don't have UI, then you don't have awareness because you don't get that blue flag. You don't have the relatives not talking to you constantly. If you got to look at the floorboard to see your relative, then no, that's not helpful. Which is the Alt K button to access the manipulation of the UI. I don't know how that works in VR, but Alt K turns everything on so you can grab it with your mouse and move it around and put it where you want. It's another keyboard shortcut for resizing the entire UI, not individual pieces, but the whole thing. So yeah, testing my objectivity. You can see here he's just gone off track and he's come to a stop in order to get the car to control and not cause an accident. And I'm right there. He started moving forward, so I went for the inside line, and then he's cutting close on it, so I had to get on and do a full stop basically. So I have now lost the gap that I had been gaining on the cars behind me for all this time. And so now they're getting closer, and then he's taken the racing line, and he said that he had no idea I was there because I was in his mirror blind spot, and there's a blue flag for that, like I just spoke. But then he's there, so I had to take an inside line, which kills all my momentum, and for all these laps, I'm 4 seconds off my average pace for the entire race. And you figure I was only at the end of it, an hour later, I'm only 17 seconds away from winning the race. So this really did hurt me, but it's racing, and it's just a learning opportunity for everybody here. I'm going to throw one strike at it for not facilitating a pass under blue flag conditions because he is a lap down. And here I'm still just looking for a way to get through. He's a little unsteady, so I'm trying to keep me safe and him safe. And I just can't get through. I've lost all my gap. And then I think here I come down to another stop here. Oh, okay, and then I'm down to another stop here. No, okay, it wasn't here. But so then I've lost, and then now he opened it up, and I was so pissed when it was live because now he gave it away. He went to the defensive, lifted, and let him by, and then he's inside, and then I'm like, how do I get around him? I actually got to slow down. Going, no shit. Now what's he gonna do? So that one's on me. And so, but yeah, one strike for the whole event for just not facilitating a pass, which is as simple as we'll get to later on when I get up to him. It's just lifting. That's the one where I had to come to another complete stop because he's off, and then he cut right, turned right, and I'm like, oh shit, he'd go right back to the inside like he did the previous time. So I had to stop to avoid T-boning him, and all I had to do was just stay on the brakes at that point, so we could have just gone by, and then he could have got back into it. But then up here, he stayed on the racing line again, so I was forced to try to get by him on the inside, so I have no momentum going down the whole straight. All I had to do through all of this stretch is lift off the gas so that I can that's facilitating the pass, and then I'm in front so that I can go into this next turn without having to be in a battle. But I think the blue flag is probably hiding down on the floorboards. He doesn't even know I'm there. So that's gotta get fixed. It's internet racing. You need to be aware, and that's what the UI is for. Alright then, that actually was it. The next 57 laps were all clear of car-on-car contact. There were some solo spins, but no more incident review worthy contacts. I'll leave it here. These are the last few laps with the race between for second place with me and Digby fighting over second place. And while I try to give a little recap, we have, let's see, what do we have? I didn't finish my... I went through 3 pens on this one. Like, I'm on pen number 4. I was going through an old collection of pens. Well, most of them all dried up, but I burned up one and then decided to tell us the next 3 I tried. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 strikes. 1 deemed a racing incident there that we reviewed, and 1, and then 2 at the beginning there. 1 for the admin and 1 for the internet. So that's 1 for the admin, 1 for the internet. And then there's a racing incident, and then there's 4 strikes throughout the race. And it does look like we'll end up with 2 drivers. Nope, that's 1 strike. Sorry, I should have figured this out before I let this thing play. Got how many drivers? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 drivers. Yeah, I should have. Sorry, I should have made the list there. Either way, I'll post up I'll get the penalty sheet updated shortly on the website so that it'll show who got those strikes rather than naming and shaming in the incident reviews. All in all, I really thought this was a good race. We had good competitive racing from people who were gaining in comfortability and learning each other's tactics. Practicing together throughout the weeks has proven to be effective in helping to learn and get more comfortable with other drivers. We do have, there's some troubles, and clearly I kind of blew a top on that awareness issue with the UI problem. And the only thing I can think on that is hopefully the Alt-K will help out with that. There were obsessive apologies from Kevin for his internet, and I did get some messages from Chapo for he was caught up with that in the early stage. He didn't know what had happened, and it kind of put him off a little bit at the beginning of the race, which we feel inspired some of his driving errors in those early laps. All in all, I was really happy. Phoenix is a brutal track with its technical braking, and we pulled through really well. Participation was down a little bit, possibly because of Halloween, and also because a lot of people just downright hate Phoenix. So we shall see. Practice smart. See you on the track.